Now, on Sunday, the people of Catalonia, a region in Spain, will vote for the second time in 3 years on becoming a nation independent from the rest of Spain. The Catalan government has refused to call off the referendum despite the Spanish authorities' attempts to prevent it. Let's talk to Dr. James Summers, a professor of international law at Lancaster University and the Barcelona-based radio journalist Jim Kent. Gents, morning to both of you. Dr. Summers, can I start with you first of all? Does this referendum, if it does go ahead at the weekend, does it hold any sort of legal water at all?
Well, the Spanish would argue that it's against their constitution. So under Spanish law, it wouldn't have, it's actually against the law. Under international law, there's no right to break away from the state unilaterally. So even if the Catalans declared independence, no state would feel that they had to recognise them. No international organisation such as the EU or UN would feel that they had to accept them as a member.
Jim, that rather takes the wind out of their sails, doesn't it?
Yeah, it depends which question we're trying to answer here. If you're saying, is this referendum legal according to the law of the land? No, it's not. But I think there are other questions to be answered here. For example, is Catalonia a vibrant, living state? Does it meet the criteria to be considered a state? Many people would say yes to that question. Another question would be how the actions taken by the Spanish government to prevent this referendum, does that indicate that these are more than just cautionary measures? These are really quite aggressive, preventative measures preventing democracy taking place. And finally, when we talk about international recognition, Dr. James Summers is quite correct that these international bodies, they're not obliged to accept the result, but there are indications that they would actually accept results. Jean-Claude Juncker, 1 week ago, said if a referendum took place, he would respect the result. Experts from the United Nations, as quoted in The Guardian just yesterday, they also said that, yes, if a referendum took place, the United Nations would also consider the result. So it depends what question we're trying to answer here.
Well, the question is, Jim, is that, if a referendum is carried out and whatever the result, if the result was to form an independent state, if it's not legally binding, then they're effectively dead in the water.
Yeah, but just imagine if this situation was closer to home for 1 second, and that, for example, Scotland had never been given the right to hold a vote, but decided to hold a vote anyway, and suddenly 6,000 English police were shipped up to Glasgow and Edinburgh to shut down the ballot booths. You can imagine the turmoil and the sense that the Scots would feel that this is not right. This is not justice. We're having our democratic rights removed. And that's how the Catalans feel. The real truth here is that 2 months ago, on the latest polls, the real truth is, even if a referendum had taken place, more Catalans wanted to stay part of Spain. But with this heavy-handed approach, it's fueled this nationalism. So if a vote took place today, in reality, it would be too close to call.
And that is a very fair point, James, isn't it? Whatever the result turns out to be, if the vote goes ahead, the idea that the perception, at least, that Madrid has tried to shut this down does go against what we perceive to be democracy.
Yes, I think there is an argument that this might not be the best strategy, that the most Catalans would like to have a vote on this, even if a majority not obviously want independence. There is an issue, I suppose, about the limits of democracy, what you can vote for in any particular instance. And breaking up a state is actually a very big deal. Now, Jim's quoted these comments by officials in the UN or in the EU. Now, they may be well just being diplomatic. The reality is, if we look at past experience, we've had referenda from independence movements where maybe 80–90% of the whole population has voted for independence. And that hasn't brought a reaction. It hasn't brought recognition from other states. Other states, to the extent that international officials have got involved, it's usually been to tell them to sort out some sort of political solution with the government, so that even if the Catalans get a majority, even if this crisis escalates, the likely international response, at least in the short term, will be to tell the Catalan leaders, the Spanish government, quietly, diplomatically, can we find some sort of agreement between you? Perhaps there's more autonomy, perhaps more funding for Catalonia. That's one of the major grievances. And can we find a solution in which Catalonia finds a better place within Spain? Yeah. I think that is almost certainly going to be the first response once the international community gets involved. But for the moment, they're more likely just to sit there and see this as Spain's internal affair.
Okay, we're almost out of time. James, I just want to ask you, on the if there was the outcome to all of this that the Catalan government wants, which is a vote to get out and that being recognised by Spain and then being granted independence, and that is obviously very, very unlikely, looking at how things are playing out so far. But where does that legally, would that leave the Catalonian state in terms of the EU that they want to stay part of? They'd be out of the EU, wouldn't they?
In principle, they'd be out of the EU. They'd be out of every international organisation. They'd be out of the UN, they'd be out of the World Bank, the IMF, NATO, the lot. They would have to rejoin. Now, is it politically possible for Catalonia perhaps to find some sort of agreement with the EU? That's, of course, what the Catalan nationalists would argue. But it requires Spain's involvement. Spain has to recognise Catalonia. If Spain doesn't recognise Catalonia and say, yes, we agree, Catalonia is independent, it's broken away, and we're happy with that, no one's going to do anything. Formally, Catalonia would have to reapply for membership of the EU for all the international organisations. How easy that would be made would depend, I think, on the will of those organisations and states within them.
Okay, well, it could prove to be another crisis for Europe if it went that way. James and Jim, thank you both. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Now, of course, we've got all that politics coming up at 10 o'clock with Adam